Che comincia la telecronaca?
Non possiamo, dobbiamo lavorare anche noi come voi, quindi non possiamo...
Io ho già Roman Floredo sulle 50.
Good evening to all American football fans from the frequencies of Feed of TV. My name is Francesco Porcello and I will be your announcer for tonight's game. You're looking live at K-Pro Arcoveggio Stadium in Bologna, where in half hour we will kick off the semi-final match of the 2019 Under-19 European Championships between Austria and Denmark. Simultaneous to our game tonight, Sweden will square off against France at Lunetta Gamberini Giorgio Bernardi Sports Center, also located here in Bologna. This afternoon, Spain beat Italy and Finland beat Norway in the two semi-finals of the losers bracket. The winner of tonight's match will play the winner of France-Sweden next Sunday, August 4th at 9 p.m. here at K-Pro Stadium in the first place match. The loser of tonight's game will play the loser of the other game, while the winner of France versus Finland at 5 p.m. will play the winner of tonight's game on Sunday in the third place match. My partner in the broadcast booth for tonight's game is once again Dario Grippa.
Good evening.
Dario, Austria beat without much sweat Spain on Monday. The Spanish team gave a courageous effort, but the overall quality of the Austrian team was in full display during the entire match. The Austrian team had a total of 502 yards on offense and only gave up 113 yards on defense. Denmark, on the other hand, played a tense and hard-fought game against Italy, shaking off some rust early in the game on their way to a deserved 17-6 victory, led by their powerful running game that produced 245 yards. What should we expect from tonight's semi-final match?
Team Austria scored a lot, but we can know exactly how good they were and how much difference in scoring was due to the split between the two teams.
One moment, Dario, we have Manfredi with the first guest.
Yes, guys, sorry to press you, but we are a bit late because of the previous game, so I took advantage to have Coach Roman Floredo from Team Austria here. So just a quick glimpse on the game, Coach. You led most of the rankings. You got a big total offense. My partners were commenting this. What do you expect from Denmark for this game?
I think they will fight the whole game, and I think it will be a tight game. So we have to prove that we're number 1 seed or number 2 seed right now. So I think it will be a fight the whole game.
So it's going to be a close, tough, and real football game.
Yes, sure. It will be a real football game.
Any key point that you want to underline?
Yeah, we want to stop scoring, and we want to get our ranking started, and then I think it's a good chance to come out with the win on that game.
Thank you very much, Coach. Thank you for your time. Good luck for tonight. Thank you, guys. I released the line, and I don't know if I'm able to catch someone by Team Denmark, but I will give you the information soon. Thank you, Francesco. Thank you, Dario.
Thank you, Manfredi. Dario, back to your pre-game analysis.
Thank you, Francesco. I was saying that Team Austria scores a lot, but we cannot know exactly how good they were and how much difference in scoring was due to the split between the two teams. Point of advantage for Austria, they gave playing time to almost every player on their roster. This could be an extra effort if some subs will be needed. Team Denmark played a rock-solid game, established a strong running game against a stout Italian defense. I'm eager to check that running game against another and perhaps more stout defense like Austria's. Point of advantage for Denmark, they showed they can switch between two quarterbacks and modify their approach to the game. Let's check it out if it could be the key to unhinge Austria's defense.
Thank you, Dario. And now let's go down to the field to Gianluca Corti announcing the entrance of the two teams on the field.
I'm trying to have Coach Lars Carlsen 1 minute on our mics, and that means that probably we will not standing on the 50 for our cameras because we don't have time to do the normal ceremonial before the game. I will give you an information about.
Thank you, Manfredi.
Francesco, probably I can have Coach Lars Carlsen just 1 minute before the ceremony starts, definitely with the national anthems.
Okay. And now we await for the entrance of the four-time defending champions, Austria.
Francesco? Can you hear me on the stands? Here we are with Coach Lars Carlsen. So this is what we call running game. I mean, you run, I run, all of us we run. Thank you for being with us in 1 minute. Everything is running. So, ready for this?
Yeah, ready for this. We've been waiting this for a long time. The game against Austria, the semi-final. Oh yeah, we're ready.
Yeah, so it's going to be amazing. I really say good luck to you, Lars. You did a good job to be here tonight, and it's going to be a wonderful night for you and all Denmark.
I believe so. We'll do everything we can. It'll be a great game, I promise.
Okay, so with this promise, thank you very much. Do your job. I will go up, and we'll see you in the halftime. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Coach. So, guys, this is a few words with Coach Lars Carlsen. Really excited. I will reach you in a minute, and let's go on.
So here you have your starting lineups. You've heard some quick comments from Coach Larsen, and let's go very quickly and have a look at the impact players for today's game.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand up for the national anthem.
David Espersen, running back, 18 years, triangle razorbacks, 16 carries for 105 yards. 1 moment to pause for the national anthems.
National anthem. National anthem.
we're getting close to game time, as you always know when you hear the national anthems. Once again, let's go back to our players to watch, Dario. For Austria, the running back, number 23, Lukas Hasselwanter, 18 years, 1 meter and 84 per 83, 1 meter 84 per 83 kilograms. He comes from the Svarko Riders Tirol versus Spain, 10 carries, 74 yards and 3 touchdowns. Another running back for Denmark, David Espersen, number 30, 18 years for him as well, 182 but skinnier than Lucas as he is 72 kilograms. He comes from the Triangle Razorbacks versus Italy, 16 carries for 105 yards, 2 receptions for 15 yards and 1 kick return per 8 yards. As we wait for the coin toss, let's have a very quick look at these two teams. Let's start with Austria. Here's the graphics for Austria. 9 times present, first time in '94. They have won this tournament, as we have said many times in these days, the last 4 times, 11, 13, 15 and 17. And they've also ended up 4 times in 3rd place. Let's take a look at Denmark. 8 presences for Denmark. Their best placement, the 2nd place in 2017 in the I5 New York iteration. Their last game played during the Scandinavian Games on the 28th of October 2018. It was a loss to Norway, to the surprising Norway, 12-35. Dario, an evening game. We had some, let's say, little issues with the commentary because of the stadium that is probably not extremely well lit, at least for broadcast standards. And tonight we have a red team with white or gray and a white team on red. So let's apologize before the broadcast for any mix-ups that we may have with the numbers. I would like to say hello and thank our friends from Denmark that have transformed Dario and myself in a meme with Luigi and Mario, the 2 characters from Super Mario. So a shout out to our Danish friends. Dario, we saw Denmark against Italy. They impressed us. They played a very well prepared game, well coached. They were ordered and they did not make a lot of mistakes. We had the impression that
Team Austria will receive in the first half.
So we will see the Austrian offense on the field first. Of course, we saw Austria demolished Spain 61-7, and Spain this afternoon came and took the game from the home nation's team to qualify for the 5th place game. What is your, give me, if you were a betting man, what would be your expectation for tonight's game?
But really, I'm not a betting man. Probably I will go safe and bet a few money on Team Austria, basically because probably after the good game Team Spain has played this afternoon, probably I can think that is a team quite better than what I think that I thought Monday night. But as you said, we really liked the Denmark team. The Danish guys has played an amazing game last Monday. Well done from a tactical point of view, well done from a technical point of view, well done from a physical point of view. So I think that Team Denmark has everything they need to compete and maybe to beat Team Austria.
I agree with your analysis. I'm also not a betting man, but mainly because I'm missing the main material needed for betting, which is the money. But I agree. I would have to go lean towards Team Austria from what we have seen in the first round of games. But I was also very impressed by the performance. I thought Denmark was one of the most clean and orderly teams, and that is always something difficult to do in the first game, because we saw a lot of penalties and a lot of sloppy plays from some of the teams. I think Coach Coach Carlsen will have his team ready to play tonight, and I'm really sure that we are up for another fantastic game tonight here between Austria and Denmark. All the typical activities of the pre-game have been completed. You have seen the teams enter the field. We have heard from both teams some comments thanks to Manfredi before the game. We've heard the national anthems. The coin has been tossed. We are now waiting for the referees to actually call the teams on the field. Dario, we have seen them already, but if we can have one more instant, the graphics of the refereeing crew from our broadcast team, please go ahead and give us again the referees.
Tonight's game referee is Mr. Marco Sala, umpire is Oliver Kahl, center judge Christian Jorgensen, linesman Andreas Pribel, line judge Riccardo Zampedri, field judge Michael Kren, side judge Doug Robinson, and back judge is Mr. Berk Karachik.
Ambulance is here, we can start, guys. Good game.
As you heard from the voice of the referee, we had to wait some instant because we had some minor issues in the beginning of the warm-ups here at the stadium. And now the ambulance is back, and that is the reason why we will be kicking off with a few moments of delay. Sweden and France have already started their game and are scoreless.
Number 18 Noah Touré, number 19 Johannes Schutz are ready to return. Team Austria is lined up for the return. Team Denmark is lining up on the 30-yard line.
Jakobs Søndergaard, number 28, is the kicker for the Danish team, and we are officially underway in this semi-final of Euro 2019 between Denmark and Austria. Good return for the Austrian team by number 19, Johannes Schutz from the Graz Giants. The Austrian team will commence its offensive activities from the 35-yard lines, where it will be a 1st and 10 for Team Austria. A run for number 25 for Austria, Rock Wenzel, very well defended by the front line, from the defensive line of the Danish team. A loss of a yard on the play. 2nd and 11 for Austria. Yannick Dennis Gruner, 19 years from the Vienna Vikings, number 1, the quarterback for Austria, drops back, looks deep for number 18, Noah Touré. The pass is incomplete, and we already have a 3rd down coming up for Team Austria on this initial drive, where my impression, Dario, is that the two teams, and Austria in particular, are studying each other and are, let's say, trying to figure out more than anything else the formations. In particular, the offense is trying to understand how Denmark has prepared the game and how they are lining it up. So give us some insight as soon as we have an instant of pause. 3rd down and 11. Gruner rolls right, finds an open receiver on the opposite sideline. It's number 14, Samuel Imariaghe, for a gain of 13 yards. The chains move. 1st down and 10, Austria.
Francesco, Team Austria is trying to exploit every level of the defensive field for Denmark. Probably is a script by the offensive coordinator that want to use the first drive to check the coverages and the tendencies of the Danish defense.
Another good run up the middle for Austria. It is number 19, Johannes Schutz, the ball carrier. A very good gain of approximately 7 yards for Schutz. 2nd down and 3 from the 39-yard line for the Austrian offense that is already in Danish territory on this first drive. Gruner goes back, fires the ball. For an instant, Noah Touré had the possibility to catch the ball, but then eventually the ball slipped away from him, and it was an incomplete pass that fell in a dangerous area populated by Danish defenders. So once again, Austria on a 3rd down. This is a 3rd down and 3 for the offense led by Yannick Dennis Gruner and coached by offensive coordinator Florian Grain. It's another run, a handoff for a run on the left side by Johannes Schutz. Good play by number 1, David Tawake, and number 36, William Kidmos, that combined for the tackle on this play for Denmark. And now, Dario, time for decisions for Coach Floredo, as it is a loss on the play. 4th down and 2 for Austria. I think there is not a lot to choose. Marco Schneider, the punter, number 17, is already on the field, while another number 17
and it's a fake.
And it is Schneider that is also by trade a wide receiver that takes the handoff and doesn't even think about punting the ball. Very good gain of approximately 17 yards for Team Austria. 1st down and 10 on the 23-yard line. So not even 3 minutes into the game, already some trickery from Team Austria.
Yeah, well read by the Danish defense, but too late for containing the outside run of Schneider.
Once again, Gruner taking his team onto the field and preparing for the play. 2 receivers on the left, 1 receiver on the right. We see
Austria.
We see that the 40-second clock had already expired, but Austria was able to call a timeout before the penalty. So first timeout of the day for Team Austria, when we have an even 9 minutes to play in the first quarter. And here it is. You see it. There is absolutely no attempt to punt the ball. So this was a prepared trick play. And of course, you can afford to do such a trick play when you have a wide receiver as a punter that has a lot of skills in terms of ball handling and also in terms of speed, as you saw. And as you mentioned correctly, Dario, it was well read by the Danish defense, but he was simply
Lucas
too fast.
Hansen, the punt returner, has read very well the intention of the Austrian team. He comes down very fast, but it has been very well blocked.
1st and 10 for Team Austria. Ball on the 23-yard line. Back goes Gruner to pass. He finds Johannes Schutz for another good reception. A flag on the play. The spot of the ball is a 1st and goal from the 2-yard line as we await for the decision of the referees.
Personal foul, number 72, Austria, 15-yard penalty, still 1st down.
And the penalty is against number 72, Mario Kliacic. We don't know exactly which kind of foul he has committed. Probably an illegal, I don't know, a personal foul, so maybe a block in the back below the waist, or we hope that next time the referee, Mr. Marcus Arak, will explain a little bit more the flags and make our job easier, Francesco.
Yes, Dario, all we are able to tell now is that Team Austria will go 5 yards back and it will be a 1st down and 15 spot of the ball, the 29-yard line for the Austrian team that are back out of the red zone. Again, Schutz is the receiver of this pass from Gruner. He scampers on the left side. He has a very good gain. It is a gain of approximately 8 yards that makes this a very playable 2nd down and 7 for the Austrian side. 3 receivers on the right side, 1 receiver on the left side. Pistol formation for the Austrian offense. It's again Gruner back. This time he's throwing in the end zone. He has an open man, but the pass is slightly overthrown. But Marco Schneider was all alone on the right side of the Danish end zone. So it will be a 3rd down for the Austrian national team. Similar formation to the one before, with 3 receivers on the wide side of the field. This time Gruner comes out and rolls out looking for one of the 3 receivers on that side. He looks deep. He doesn't have an open receiver deep, so he has to go to a safety valve, Matthias Berghammer. Good catch for Berghammer. Depending on the spot, it will be a 1st down. Let's see what the referee's call is. The chain is moving. 1st down, Austria.
The Danish defense is playing it safe. Basic 4-2 front. They are running with pass rushing with just 4 guys for now. They won't take risks.
Red zone offense for Austria from the 14-yard line. 1st and 10. Once again, Gruner goes back, looks on the right side, and a very, very athletic movement from Johannes Schutz that basically turns toward on his own torso and almost reaches a fantastic one-hand catch, but the ball eventually drops on the ground for an incomplete. 2nd and 10 Austria. Yes, I agree with you. It's a bend but not break kind of defense that wants to take away the big plays, and then now should take advantage from the fact that it's playing on a short portion of the field. An initial sort of pro formation for Austria, but then one of the 2 running backs goes in motion. But it is, as we were just saying, very well read by a number of Danish players, led by number 45, David Helqvist, for a loss. Third down and 12 Austria.
This time the Danish defensive coordinator decided to send more people on pressure, 6-man rush, and it worked very well, stopping the run.
So a difficult third down to convert for the Russian team. Once again, 2 running backs in the backfield, 2 receivers on the left side and 1 receiver on the right. It is a play action. There is an open receiver, and it is Johannes shoots for the touchdown, Team Austria!
A great ball thrown by Gruner. A great zip, rocket directly in the hands of Schutz. No way for the defensive back to deflect or intercept this ball.
Dario, I was positively impressed by both the offense and the defense on this drive. Eventually, the offense came up with the 7 points, but a very good job from the Danish defense that kept the Austrian offense on the field for over 8 minutes, and over 5 minutes, and really gave us some really good glimpses of defense. Number 33 for Denmark, Victor Kofod, was the defensive back that tried the deflection of the pass, but very good hands, as you can see once again here on the replay. He starts off from the running back position. It's almost like a swing pass to Schutz, that even with the presence of a Danish defender does not lose his concentration, gets both hands on the ball, and brings Austria first 6 points on the scoreboard. The extra point is good as well, and now the score reads Austria 7, Denmark 0, 6:41 to play in the first quarter.
Arcoveggio ready to kick off. Team Denmark ready to return.
19-second time for Austria. Now we're ready to the kickoff.
2 returners deep for Team Denmark. It is number 30, David Espersen, our impact player for today, also used today in a role of kick returner. It is a good kick returner. The ball is out on the 25-yard line, and that's where we will get our first glimpse today of the Danish offense, led by number 11, Alexander Schwarz.
Very loud crowd cheering for Austria tonight, Francesco.
It is a handoff for a run up the middle, one of those typical gashing runs that we saw against Italy on Monday. And as you see, we already have another running back in the fold, as it was number 31, Magnus Norgard. Once again, Austria with the up-tempo game that you mentioned already Monday, almost a no-huddle offense. Back Alexander Schwarz to pass. The ball intended for number 82, Magnus Boos is the receiver, 19 years from the Esbjerg Hurricanes for Magnus. Incomplete pass is the result of the play, and we have a third down and 3 for Team Denmark, Dario. Once again, Schwarz hands the ball off, but the runner that is again number 31 Norgard is stopped by the Austrian defense. It will be a 4th down and 1. Let's see what Coach Carlsen wants to do. Dario, Coach Carlsen once again mixing things up and handing the ball off to Magnus Norgard, that was not the starting running back on Monday.
Francesco, we have learned against Italy that the Danish team wants to work with an approach by committee at running back, with Lily, Norgård and Espersen that has to split carries, and it's a fake.
Even
we have talked about it against Italy. Number 1, Christopherson, is always ready to receive a direct snap. And
Dario.
They haven't used it against Italy, but they decided to use it at the very beginning of the game tonight.
Allow me a bad joke. Let's watch it again. Number 1, David Tanake for Denmark, the ball carrier. Both teams do not like to punt, as we've seen 2 fakes and 2 first downs gained by both teams. Once again, it is Alex Schwartz, but this time it is very well read, the run by Magnus Norgard, and the play is immediately stopped by the Austrian side. Once again, a run in the central area of the field, very well snuffed and read by the Austrian defense that is showing some glimpses of a great run-stop defense. 4:05 to play with the clock ticking here in the second quarter. 7-0 Austria. Alex Schwartz looking at coach Lars Carlsen and coach Daniel Lassen, the offensive coordinator. 1 receiver left, 2 receivers right, and it is a pass for the left wide receiver, and the pass is complete to number 14, Jonathan Steinhauer from the Söllerod Gold Diggers. 4th down again, Dario, 4th down and 1, this time from the 49 yards. I wonder what is in the mind of Coach Simon Sonnesen, the special team coach for Denmark.
I think that they don't think about punting this time.
Yeah, not
they
even a
play
fake.
Conventional
they don't even
offense.
waste time with a fake, and I believe it will be some kind of run. A run it is, but it is stopped by Team Austria, I believe, short of the first down. And in fact, the first clear indication from the referees is first down, Austria.
Öspersen very well stopped at the line of scrimmage. He needed a short gain, but a great effort by the front 7 of the Austrian defense. No way for him to find room to close.
Let's watch here the replay, the great penetration from the front line of the Austrian defense. He is met in the backfield, and even by falling forward, he's not able to gain a first down. So we have Gruner back out on the field. Bad snap, he picks the ball up from the ground. It is a swing pass again to Schutz that breaks a series of tackles and gains immediately a first down for the Austrian offense that picks up where it left off on the past drive, where they went to the house for 7 points, and it is immediately a first down for the Austrian national team and for number 19, Johannes Schutz. That seems to be tonight the early MVP of the game, as the ball has passed many times through his hands. This time it is a more conventional run up the middle for Team Austria. Gruner has handed the ball off to number 23, our impact player, Lukas Hasselwanter. Good gain for him. It is now a second down and 7 after a gain of approximately 3.5 yards for Hasselwanter on the first down. Play action pass. The closest player to the ball, however, it's number 2, Dario, Rasmus Westberg, that almost tried not to catch the ball.
Yeah, the Gruner has thrown, has very overthrown. I don't know if there is something wrong in the connection between him and the receiver, maybe the wrong route, but Westberger has really leg up and it was really close to intercept this ball.
3rd down and 7 for Austria. Once again, Gruner back to pass, looks on the left, but the pass is incomplete to Samuel Imariakbeg, that was clearly looking already downfield before actually catching the ball. Dario, I agree with you on the analysis of the play on second down. Gruner has shown to have a very delicate touch with regard to the pass, so I would have to believe more to a wrong route by the runner than to a very much overthrown pass. Anyway, 4th down for the Austrian team, and I believe that tonight we will not see a lot of punting. Gruner stays in the game. Austria is going to play for it. Gruner goes back, finds number 17, and once again, Marco Schneider drops the ball. So Denmark holds by virtue of 2 easily catchable balls dropped by Imari Agbe and Marco Schneider. 1st and 10 Denmark, and the Danish crowd tries to cheer their players as Alexander Schwarz comes back out on the field.
This ball looked like a little bit thrown on a back shoulder, so really complex to catch, but in this first quarter we have seen a lot of drops by the Austrian receivers.
1st and 10 on the 33-yard lines for Denmark, and we have a fumble that is picked up on the run by
Espersen.
Espersen again, that is having a difficult start to his game, not at all like the game that he had against Italy. Let's watch the replay as soon as possible to have a better idea, Dario, of if it was a bad handoff or
it was a bad handling in the end around. Receiver was, I think, number 82.
2nd down and 4, flag on the play. The referees stopped the play, and when the play stopped like this, normally it's because of some early movement or illegal movement by the offense. Dario.
In the previous play, we have seen a very bad handling of the ball during the mechanic between the quarterback and the receiver, number 82, Magnus Bruce, that was trying to run an end around. And then Espersen has been very good and very ready and focused to recover the fumble.
2nd down and 11 for Denmark. Austria up 7-0, 1 minute 29 in this fast-paced and exciting first quarter of football between these 2 beautiful teams. Alex Schwarz screaming something to his players, looking once again to the sideline. Now he comes up to the line. The noise of the crowd makes it difficult for him to give some commands to his players. Eventually it is a handoff, but it is a handoff for almost no gain for David Espersen, as Dario, in this early part of the game, the tremendous front 4 of Austria is really making it difficult for Denmark to get any type of running game going, as it was the case in the game versus Spain. This time we're looking for a pass. It is a swing pass to Espersen, I believe, that is tackled immediately by the Austrian side. Number 47, Nicolas Terlitza on the tackle. Denmark that plays 3 downs on offense to only lose 2 yards, including a fumble that fortunately for Denmark was recovered, but not a lot in terms of offense on this first second possession by the Danish offense. Meanwhile, this first quarter has ended, and as we await the sharp and precise work of our national Italian statistics team to deliver to you our fresh stats from the first quarter. Dario, a quick analysis of this first quarter.
My first analysis is that Austrian defense has showed up very early. Is a very tough defense. Is shutting down for now the very good Danish offense. Denmark needs to find a rhythm to move the ball. In the very beginning of the game, we are watching basically the Austrian defense shutting down the offense. So they need to step up and find a way to find some room to move the chain. On the other side, Austrian offense has been slowed down by some individual mistakes, but looks like also on fire tonight.
So as some of our friends from home announced, we may actually finally see a punt. I don't know yet, but at least we have Lasse Torso, number 16, in punting position. It is a punt and is a fair catch called by number 19, Johannes Schutz. So it will be first down and 10 for Austria. The first offensive play of the second quarter will be played by the 32-yard line. One wide receiver in isolation on the left for Austria, 3 wide receivers on the right, pistol formation for Yannick Dennis Gruner. He will look for a pass, or at least fake one, and then he will take the ball by himself for a scamper of 13 yards. I believe he was touched after he had come out of the field. We see a flag, and let's wait for the call from our
Dead ball, personal foul, defense number 12, unnecessary rashness, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
defensive back Lucas Bierg is the guilty party on this play. So 15 yards added at the end of a very good run by Yannick Dennis Gruner. This makes it a first down and 10 in Danish territory. Austrian team that with this last play with the penalty and the run gains 28 yards and now plays a first down and 10 on the 37-yard line of the Danish portion of the field. A delayed handoff by Gruner to Rock Wenzel that fools the Danish defense, Dario, that was trying to get to the quarterback, only to watch him hand off and lost completely sight of the ball carrier that was able to gain once again, let's watch it here, approximately 12 yards and give the Austrian offense another first down, this time from the 23-yard line.
A very well executed pass action and delayed handoff.
11:26 to play in the third quarter. Quick run by number 25, Rock Wenzel. This time good work from the Danish defense. Number 41, Alexander Klose, defensive lineman of 18 years from the Triangle Razorbacks. The man immediately grasping a hold of Wenzel and stopping him before he can actually gain some yards. It is a second down and 9 now. It is once again a handoff to Wenzel, but once again for the second play in a row, Dario, very good play by the Danish defense that stops him in his tracks.
The Danish defense for now probably is not so firework like Austrian one, but is doing very well, especially in the box. Probably they need to get a little bit better at covering the receiver on the outside, but inside the defensive line is doing a great job stopping the run.
3rd and 12, Gruner fumbles the snap, then picks it up again, has an open man in the end zone, and it is touchdown again for Austria. Noah Touré. Even a fumble does not stop the Austrian offense from putting points on the board. 13-0 Austria.
Some sort of bad luck for Oscar Gabriel that searching for the ball in the air probably is he had a missteps and he fell down in the moment of the reception.
Marco Schneider, the punter, to hold for Rock Wenzel that kicks it up and through for the 14th point. Austria 14, Denmark 0. Here are some quick stats from the first quarter. 5 first down for Austria, 1 for Denmark. 23 rushing yards for Denmark, 39 for Austria. Only 4 passing yards for Denmark and 59 for Austria, for a total of 96 offensive yards for Austria and 27 for Denmark. 1 penalty for both teams, and even actually Denmark a little bit more with the ball, 6:41 to 5:19. Ma non ne vedo. Kickoff handled by Denmark and by number 82 Magnus Boos, that tries to revert the field and look for the right side of the field, but he is met by a swarm of Austrian players on the 25-yard line, and that is where we will see the offense led by Alex Schwarz, quarterback of 18 years, 1 meter and 85 per 87 kilograms, the Triangle Razorbacks, the club team that he plays for. Once again, Danish offense back on the field, Dario, and they need to start moving the ball because they have been rather inconsistent in the first quarter of play. This time it is a pass.
Yeah, they look like they're not yet on rhythm. They really look very slow at the execution. There is no much effort. They're not moving at full speed. It looks like they're not at full speed for now. Probably the Austrian defense is making things very hard for them.
Lucas Bach on the slant pattern and the incomplete pass. This time it is a run that goes on the right side of the field, and the Danish player is once again Lucas Bach, a little bit slow getting back up. Actually, he remains down on the ground, and as you can see on the back part of the screen, the referees call a technical timeout to allow the medical teams to enter the field, but he is able to stand up on his own and fortunately step out of the field without further problems, so the game can start again, and it's immediately, Dario, due to these two not successful plays, 3rd down and 10, and I guess one of the reasons that Denmark has not gotten the correct, let's say, game flow, it's also because the offense has not been on the field for so many plays. Schwarz looking downfield, looking on the right side to his receiver, number 87, Jonathan Schnack, well guarded by the Austrian defense. 3 and out for Denmark, and now the Danish punt team once again out on the field. Lasse Torso, number 19, the only player with a roster position as a special teamer from the Aarhus Tigers, is back on the field to punt the ball back to Austria. Jonathan, I think it's
Jonathan Schnack make a good job waiting for the ball to stop and getting the more field they could. Now let's start again with the Austrian offense. Francesco, I've seen Alex Schwarz in this very beginning of the game not so comfortable in the pocket. So I think that the Danish offense need him to step up and to deliver better throws to his receivers.
Now we have Austria back out on the field, so it's Gruner, the quarterback, leading his offense back out on the field. He takes the ball, he takes a pass, at least initially it looks like an incomplete pass, and that is the call from the referees, Dario. 2nd down and 10 for Austria. double receiver on both sides for Austria. Gruner hands the ball off up the middle to Johannes Schutz. A good gain for him of approximately 6 yards. Second down, much more positive for Austria than the first one. 3rd down and 4 on the way.
Johannes Schutz for now is the leading back for the Austrian offense. He's getting the bulk of the carries.
Timeout. Denmark, first timeout.
So now both teams have called a timeout. Probably the Danish defense wants to reset and make sure that they're able to stop Austria from converting this 3rd down. Let's have a quick look at the coaching staffs. For Austria, head coach Roman Floredo, Florian Grain is the offensive coordinator, Mario Floredo is the defensive coordinator, Thomas Olsbock is the head of the mission, Christopher Kipperer offensive line, Max Sommer quarterbacks, Andreas Hofbauer running backs, Damaso Tarneller wide receivers, Armin Novidi defensive lineman, Christoph Schilker linebacker, and Josiah Cravaglio defensive backs. For Denmark, head coach and head of mission is Lars Carlsen, offensive coordinator Daniel Lassen, Thomas Kipp is the defensive coordinator, Simon Sonnesen special teams, Morten Ramsgaard quarterbacks, Nikolai Küseler halfbacks, H-backs, Adrian Teague running backs, Steven McCusker offensive line, Torben Bodilsen defensive line, Simon Rasmussen linebacker, Asger Broström defensive back, helped by Lau Hartoft and the team manager Jon Skurbak. 3rd and 4, very important play, even though we're early in the game. 8:52 to play for Austria. Goes back Gruner looking for a receiver, but it is very well read by number 36 for Denmark, William Kidmose, the linebacker that does not allow the completion for Austria. And Dario, Denmark can find a solace in the fact that they were able to stop the Austrian offense.
Francesco, it looked like a designed screen pass, but the pressure by the Danish defense was too fast to develop this kind of play.
Number 30, David Espersen, waiting for the kick, but it is a really bad kick that goes out of bounds on the 45-yard. So only 14 net yards on this punt for Austria, and 1st down and 10 for Denmark, already in the good portion of the field for the Danish offense on the 45-yard line of the Austrian team.
The Danish defense has done its job, has stopped very well in a very sound way the Austrian offense. Now Team Denmark needs the offense to step up.
I agree with you that Alex Schwartz has to step up and start completing some passes and moving the ball, as it was the case right here. I think that their coach is doing, Lars Carlsen, a good job of not deviating from the game plan. Short, quick passes. Julius Bunk, team captain today, is the wide receiver that caught the pass. This time it is a quick handoff to number 45, that August Lillie, that we called so many times against Italy. So, as we mentioned many times, Denmark with this technique of rotating running backs during drives or from one drive to another. We've seen at least 3 running backs in the backfield for Denmark. It's still Lillie in the backfield next to Schwartz. Twin left, twin right for the Danish offense. 3rd down and 4. It is again Lillie. He finds a first wall of Austrian defenders, but on second effort he's able to push forward and fall down, but not before. It is 1st down, Denmark.
Great job by Danish offensive line. At the first hit, they looked to have been beaten by the Austrian defensive line, but they have stayed on their blocks. With their second effort, Lillie was able to have a second effort by himself and getting the 1st down.
Good pass again by Schwartz, completed to number 14, Jonathan Steinauer for Denmark. And just like we were hoping, we are seeing a better Alexander Schwartz that maybe needed a little bit of game to really enter mentally into the arena. He's now leading the Danish team and moving the ball down the field. This time it is a second down and 6. Ball spotted on the 36-yard line of the Austrian portion of the field. Now it is David Espersen back in the backfield with Schwartz. That rolls out left, takes the ball by himself. He is still up, he's still running, and he's tackled, but not before he has gained 19 yards to the Austrian 11. First down, Denmark.
Nice run by the quarterback. Schwartz has done a great job taking the sideline, but deciding not to give up to the play and searching for the hit, searching for the extra yards. Great effort and great heart by him.
I think he's sending a message to his teammates. We are here, we want to play, and we want to try to win this game, even if it means taking some extra hits. Here is another pass. It looks to be incomplete from the signs of the referees. So not a good pass this time to Samuel Imariakbe that looked to be open on the slant. 6:15 to play in the second quarter. Austria in the red zone for the first time, Denmark for the first time in the red zone today, and perhaps for the first time the Austrian defense is showing a little bit of difficulty in stopping the Austrian game, and it is David Espersen tackled on the 2-yard line. What a beautiful run. I was worried watching Espersen struggle that our choice for a key player for once was not the right one, but David with this beautiful run canceled all my doubts. Once again, first down, first and goal. Look at this beautiful change of direction from him. He has 3 would-be tacklers tied up to his legs, and he's still pushing forward, and he's only 2 yards away from giving Denmark its first points of the evening. First and goal, Denmark from the 2. This time, the handoff is for August Lillie. Let's wait for the call. Touchdown, August Lillie. Touchdown, Denmark.
Nice powerful run by Lillie. He lowered his shoulder, he searched for the extra effort, he searched the help of his offensive line, and he scored a very needed touchdown for the team Denmark.
Dario, the great game that we were hoping for has materialized. Austria clearly a better team so far in the game, but Denmark alive, Denmark capable of putting points on the board. It is a fake play with number 20.
I think it was a broken play.
Denmark, the kicker Jakob Søndergaard. Let's watch this again. This is the touchdown by Lillie. Straight ahead power running for the Danish team. Here our broadcast crew gives us the double replay option to have this very good zoom and actually watch Lillie as he enters the end zone. I'm sure we will have a chance to watch the extra point replay again and find out what went wrong. Anyway, Denmark on the board with 5:46 to go in the second quarter of this very fast-paced and exciting game that still sees Austria in front 14-6 and ready to receive the kickoff of the player that we just mentioned, Jakob Søndergaard.
While in the other field we have a 0-0.
A chess match between Sweden and France in the other semi-final. We mentioned once again that meanwhile my early favorite for MVP, Johannes Schutz, puts some more points, MVP points in his pocket with this very good kick return. We will be able, I'm sure, to see it again. He picks up, look at this, he looks like a normal return up the middle. Then he sees an opening, some daylight on the side, and look at that acceleration. He almost broke free. Very good open field tackle from number 28 from Denmark. That is the kicker, Jakob Søndergaard, that prevented shoots from making some real damage. First and 10 Austria from the 46-yard line. It is a run up the middle for no gain. Second and 10 coming up for Austria.
Schutz for now has his offense on his shoulder. He's doing great. He's running the ball. He's returning kicks. He's making the most of the yards of his offense. Great effort by him for now, but now I think that also need to find somewhere else that could score some yards on the ground.
Lucas Hasselwanter in the backfield next to Gruner that goes for the deep sideline for the open receiver. Wonderful catch by Noah Touré, left all alone by the Danish secondary, guilty of forgetting one of the better players, Noah Touré, number 18. 17 years for him from the Salzburg Ducks, and it is already first and 10 as we have a chance to watch the replay from the 20-yard line. So Austria already in the red zone on this wonderful completion from Gruner to Noah Touré. 39 yards on the pass. This time it is a handoff, and it is number 23, Lucas Hasselwanter, the ball carrier. This time a better result than his last run. 5 yards for him, second and 5 coming up from Austria, that has once again picked up their offensive play. Perhaps the wake-up call was the touchdown by Denmark that reminded Austria that this is still a game, and now Austria is looking to push their pedal to the metal on the accelerator and put some points back on the scoreboard. Once again, Gruner looks for an open receiver. He finds him. It's once again, I think, Noah Touré. It is number 18. 1 meter 85 per 73 kilograms from Noah Touré. And unfortunately, we have a player down. It's William Kidmose, the linebacker from the AAB 89ers. 18 years of age for William.
Francesco Gruner has shown a lot of patience in this pocket, in this action, in this play. He has searched, scanned all the options he had from his receiver, found the open man in the underneath. Nice job by him.
I like the way he stands up tall here. You can see it once again. You can really see him looking around, looking for the open man. He has already once taken the ball himself when he's realized that he has not had an open man. And apart perhaps from that little problem with the handoff earlier on in the game, I think his game has been very clean today. Perhaps the other, let's say, black spot on this performance was that very overthrown pass that was almost intercepted in the other quarter, where probably it was just a question of the receiver not being on the same page with him. But overall, a very good game by Gruner. That is exactly the leader that an offense needs, especially at this level and with this age. Running backs in pro form for Austria now. It is a handoff once again for Yannick Dennis Gruner that takes matters in his own hands, almost as if he had heard our commentary, and brings 6 points on the scoreboard as we await for the PAT. 20-6 for Austria, and their large and noisy crowd that is celebrating this expanded lead of their under 19 teams. The kick, it's up by Rockwenzel, and it is good. 21 Austria, 6 Denmark, 3:31 to play. Here it is, fake handoff. We all looked for Johannes Schutz to keep the ball. Instead, it was Yannick Gruner that had the ball, and he had it all the way into the end zone. 21-6 the score, 3 touchdowns to 1 if you want, minus the extra point missed by the Danish team. Danish team that, Dario, I think unless they want to, let's say, lose touch with the Austrian team, need some points here, maybe even a field goal, but they need to show that they're alive and that their offense is capable, as it was on their last possession, to march down the field and put points on the board.
Austria has answered in a very strong way to the score by the Danish team. So they want to stay in advantage, they want to stay in touch with the game. They don't want the Denmark team to stay close to them. And this sweep kick is an example. They don't want to take a risk and to getting too much good field position for starting the drive for the Danish offense.
I think that the Austrian special teams don't want the ball in the hands of David Espersen, and so they prefer to, let's say, have a certain type of field position somewhere between the 35 and the 40 for Denmark, rather than risk, the big play to the house from the Danish special teams. I agree. 1st and 10 for Austria. 1st and 10 for Alex Schwarz once again on the field. Let's see if the good signs that he gave us on this past drive continue. The ball is for David Espersen, and he is very fortunate because he is stripped of the ball by the Austrian side, but lucky for him, the ball rolls out of bounds. Of course, we know that that fumble cannot cause a positive gain, so the ball is spotted back to the place where the ball actually came out of his hand. It's only a 1-yard gain for Denmark, lucky to still have the ball and to play a 2nd down and 9, 3:12 to play in the 2nd quarter with the clock ticking. Again Schwarz looking downfield for the open receiver, again looking for number 84, Julius Bunk, 16 years, but the ball is not really close to the receiver, incomplete on this deep pass, and now a complex 3rd and 9 for Denmark from their own 36-yard line. So only 1 yard gained so far on this offensive drive. It is Lillie next to Schwarz. Schwarz changes the position of Lillie, goes back, looks deep, looks for his open receiver, number 14, Jonathan Steinauer. Some contact with the cornerback, but everything is nullified by a really imprecise pass. The ball is out of bounds, definitely not in the general area of the receiver, so no call from the referees, and a 4th down. Very good job this time, Dario, from the Austrian secondary that did not allow the Danish receivers even close to the ball, and that have the possibility to give their offense the ball back with a lot of time on the clock, 2:59. Shoots again, ready to return the kick, explores the left side, he stops, he sends one defender basically looking for clover leaves, and he's still up on the left side, and he will not be brought down until the 40. Very good return for Johannes Schutz, our Mr. Do-It-All from the Austrian team tonight. 1st down and 10 for Austria, and again the possibility for Yannick Dennis-Gruner to put points on the board for the Austrian team that is slowly taking control of this game.
Personal foul, number 21, receiving team, 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, 1st down.
So the good return is nullified by the penalty. You just heard Chief Sala give us the call. 15 yards back from Denmark, still 1st and 10 for Austria.
Francesco, Team Denmark needs to find a better rhythm on offense because they cannot afford to have this amount of 3 and outs, and they cannot afford to let Austrian offense for so much time on the field because it's a very solid offense. They are doing a good job at stopping it, but you cannot allow them to have so much possibilities, so much plays on offense.
I agree. There are many reasons for which Denmark cannot afford to be on the field with their offense for a very short amount of time. It is not good for their offense, and it also gives too much time on the field to the Austrian offense for plays like this one. Lateral pass to number 17, Marco Schneider, that instead of taking off with the ball, looks downfield and finds Noah Touré for a very long connection that takes Austria immediately on the other side of the field. And on the very first play, it is a 45-yard pass and a first down and 10 from the 30-yard line of the Danish portion of the field for Austria. This time the pass will come from Gruner. The receiver will be the quarterback from the last play, Marco Schneider. The catch is good for a gain of approximately 8 yards. Second down and 2 coming up for Team Austria that is enjoying a phase of unstoppable offense on the field.
Team Austria wants to finish strong this half. They want to go in the locker room with a lot of points on the score.
Once again, a keeper for Yannick Dennis Gruner. This time, just like on the play that brought to the touchdown, I had the impression that it was designed for him to keep the ball. So he basically let the play develop in front of him, and then he took off and gained some really good yards for his team. First and goal for Austria. This time, good guard mounted by number 67 for Denmark, Aske Mikkelsen, and number 4, August Perry, to stop on the spot the Austrian player. Still second and goal from the 9-yard line of the Danish portion of the field. Once again, an acceleration in the middle of the field for Gruner that almost ends up in the end zone again. A gain of 8, and I believe it will be third down and 1, as we have a number of players down on the ground, 2 both from the Danish team. Sorry, 3 players, all from the Danish team down on the ground.
Francesco, I think that the Team Austria wants to score a lot because they respect the Danish team. They know that the Danish team is quite better than the one that showed up tonight in the first half. So I'm sure that they want to put a lot of score, a lot of differential on the scoreboard because they know that they could come back in the second half.
Meanwhile, one of the 3 players is up and running on his own legs. And now the other 2 players are being helped up. It's number 67 for the Danish team being helped out together with his defensive partners. All 3 of them are limping, but coming off the field by their own power. I believe it was also number 57, Victor Ricciardi, coming out of the field. And it is now third and goal from the 1-yard line. Referees have given the sign that the play is ready. It is a run, and it is a touchdown for Team Austria. This time, the touchdown is for number 19, Johannes Schutz. (27-6). It's the delated lead for Austria as the extra point. It's up for Team Austria and through the uprights by Rock Wenzel. 28-6. Austria trying to go for the jugular vein of Denmark already in the first half of play. Impressive offensive show by Austria that is on the way to another 50-plus game if they should repeat their performance of the first half in the second, as they have already put 28 points on the board, Dario.
I think that the offensive showing of Austria is quite more impressive, thinking about the fact is this showing has been against at not so bad defense. I still thinking that the Danish defense is playing well, so the outing of the Austrian offense is quite more impressive for that.
Meanwhile, in the soccer game in the other stadium, the halftime score is 0-0. Perhaps we will have a penalty kick, and one of the two teams.
It's going to be with,
maybe they will go to the golden goal.
They will shoot
penalties yes.
at the end.
Here we have the kickoff going to number 82 for Denmark, Magnus Bus, that changes from the left to the right sideline. More east-west than north-south running for him, as it is not an extremely long return in terms of gain, but it is in terms of yards that he has run on the field. Anyway, it will be a first down and 10 from the Danish team. 41 seconds. Of course, some points would be more than welcome from Denmark, but the minimum result that we're looking for, it's not giving the ball back to Austria, Dario, because they are really, really, really in a moment where everything they touch is gold. And as you can see from the body language of the Danish team, they look to really, at this point, to have absorbed a really strong uppercut from the Austrian team. Andreas Pasche, absolutely receivable, dropped pass.
In the last play, Francesco, we have seen Steinauer asking for the ball, screaming for the ball, and no one giving him attention.
Second down and 10. Once again, it's Schwarz looking for a receiver. There is a flag on the play. The intended receiver was number 82, Magnus Bus, but something was wrong in this connection between quarterback and receiver, because the ball landed much closer to an Austrian player than it did to a Danish one. Meanwhile, let's wait for the call from the crew.
Rushing the passer, defense number 52, 50-yard penalty, first down.
So number 52 of Team Austria, Richard Gau, was a little bit late at getting his hands on the quarterback. And we know that in modern football, quarterbacks are very... it's quite impossible to get your hand on the quarterback without a flag if you are not perfect at timing.
First and 10 from the 44 of the Austrian mid-portion of the field for Denmark. Alex Schwarz back into the pocket, but he is picked up and thrown down from a combination of number 91, Fabian Egger, and number 52, Richard Gau, that immediately apologizes for his penalty on the play before by making a very good play on the quarterback.
Denmark, second timeout.
18 seconds to play in the second quarter. It has been a very fast first two quarters, as we have only played, Dario, approximately 1 hour, and we are already approaching the halftime, which is much faster than what it was.
Clock operator, please. 20 seconds. 20 seconds.
The case in the earlier game between Italy and Spain.
Yes, Francesco, we have seen a lot of running games, a lot of competition inside the bounds, so time is running up very fast. I'm not sure that it could be a good thing for Denmark, because they need a lot of time to find their rhythm and to try to score some points and get closer to the Austrian team.
Especially with the up-tempo, quick, no-huddle, hurry-up offense that the Danish team seems to employ quite often. They do need to establish a rhythm to have their offensive game going. Once again, Schwarz calls for a pass on the left side, and I think the pass was intended for number 89, Andreas Pasche, that was not on the same page with his quarterback, as Pasche was still driving towards the Austrian secondary, and the ball almost hit him in the back of the leg. So there was some kind of misunderstanding between him and his quarterback. Third down and 13 for Denmark, that on this drive has only moved the ball thanks to the Gao penalty that gave them 15 free yards. 16 seconds to play, long ball, and something is wrong, absolutely wrong, with the Danish team, because number 82, Magnus Boos, stopped and came back for a deep out pattern, and instead the ball looked more like the classical 9 fly pattern.
Francesco, Danish team is experiencing very hard times to get the right connection between the quarterback and these receivers. They are really not on the same page tonight, and they need to fix it in the locker room during the halftime, because they cannot afford to play in this way on offense against
empty backfield. Empty backfield, 5 wide receivers for Denmark, and I'm sure that this penalty is some kind of movement against the Danish team.
Start. Offense Denmark. The team didn't set for 1 full second.
So too many motion without resetting for at least 1 second, Francesco. Another mistake, another portion of confusion in this offense. Really, the Danish offense is not playing at his usual level.
Do you think we may see Christopher Carstens, the quarterback that actually started the game against Italy, in the second half, Dario?
Probably yes, because they need to do something.
Meanwhile, timeout on the field for us.
During this second quarter, they stopped to do anything. At the very beginning of the game, they had what it looked like a good running game, but they failed to establish some sort of offensive game flow. They need to step up, they need to change something, and especially they need to complete some passes, because you cannot afford to not complete short passes against this defense, against this Austrian team.
So it was the last timeout called by Denmark, even though we did not hear the call from the referee, as we see from the game clock that Denmark has no more timeouts available. The clock has been reset to 12 seconds. It is now 4th and 20 for the Danish team. Denmark still has Alex Schwartz on the field, so wants to play this 4th down. They will probably try some kind of Hail Mary pass, and that is not the case. They're trying some strange trick play on the right sideline, but they need 20 yards. Also going out towards the out of bounds makes it easy for the Austrian defense to stop the Danish offense with actually an incredibly small gain. And now Austria has 6 seconds. Let's see if they want to exploit this play, or perhaps they just want to set up a victory formation and just have their quarterback kneel down and go into the locker room, as they already are the owners of a 22-point lead in this first half of football.
I can see the Austrian players running on the line of scrimmage, but not. They are in a victory formation, so they decided to kneel down and go to the locker room. 6 seconds are too few to try to establish some kind of play to at least set a field goal. Really, they needed this 6 seconds just to complete the deep pass. So
also, they were too far away from the end zone, and you don't want to make mistakes that can help the other team. So I agree completely with their choice to simply kneel down. Very nice scene, very nice atmosphere with both crowds cheering. Manfredi.
Yes, from the field with Coach Roman Floredo again. Look like you are leading, no, you are for sure leading the game, and you are in total control of it.
Right now it looks like, but I saw too many things happen in football, so we have 2 quarters left.
Yeah, for sure. You have to play half of the game. So, but you're doing well. Not too many mistakes. I mean, very well done job, and I think you are controlling the game. We know NFL Super Bowl a couple of years ago was completely upset at the end, but I think your performance now is a bit better than the Denmark one.
Yes, of course. We fixed our mistakes. We had a couple ones today too, but it's football. It's built on mistakes, because if you don't make mistakes, nobody would score. So we hope we can reduce that mistakes too for the second, after the third and the fourth quarter, and then we should get the win.
Okay, finding perfection. So
Yes, sure.
every time. Okay, thank you very much, Coach. I release you for the second half. See you after the game. Thank you very much. This is the words by Coach Roman Floredo, and I will catch or try to catch someone from the Denmark side, and I will be back soon.
Okay.
Thank you, Manfredi, for the joke about the NFL Super Bowl. I'm an Atlanta Falcons fan, so thank you for the reminder.
Sorry for that.
Back to the broadcast booth. 28-6 Austria. The score, 22 point, is the lead as we enter the halftime portion of this game. 20 minutes until the next kickoff. 1 minute 50 have already gone by, so we have 18 minutes, and we wait as we see, I hope our broadcast crew that can pick us up. Manfredi going towards the Danish coaching staff that has not even gone to the locker room and is discussing probably strategy for the next half a play from for their team. Manfredi, as we have heard from Coach Carlsen many times, can we have Coach Lassen, maybe the offensive coordinator, or Coach Keep, the defensive coordinator,
Yes.
with you?
Yes, I'm trying to do that. They are actually discussing. No, Coach Lars is coming to us. He's a bit tired, I think. Coach, so they're stressing a bit your defense, and the game is now 28-6. How do you think to organize the second half?
We will have the guys to start believing in themselves again. It's kind of in the end here. They seem that they don't believe they can do this, and now it's going to be about one play at a time. I know it's classic, but one play at a time. Show what they're made of, and let's see what happens in the end.
So you're facing a kind of psychological issue because they are losing actually the scoreboard.
That's what I think. We, like play by play, we have some good plays, and when we have a good plays, we can play Austria. But when we take one play off mentally and we start losing confidence right now, then now it's tough. So I have to, for me, it's going to be get out there and start building some confidence into the guys again and make them believe they can do this.
Do you think that passing the ball a bit more precisely can be an option?
There could be an option. We ran the ball well in some parts of first half, so that's an option too. But it'll be nice for us to have some kind of passing game going again.
Okay, thank you very much, Coach. I leave you to your work. Thank you. See you soon. So, guys, this is what I had actually, because they are obviously trying to reorganize the team because the scoreboard is not that big for them, but obviously Austria is leading by 3 touchdowns. So I understand defensively they have to reorganize and also have new strategies for the offense. So actually from the field is all, and we will have more connection later. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Manfredi, and we will be back at the beginning of the third quarter with the statistics from the first half. So we now take a small pause and a little break. Thank you.
Ecco Elena che lotta per l'ambiente, per la biodiversità, per un sistema di produzione sostenibile che rispetti la terra e chi la lavora. Perché il mondo si cambia con le scelte di ogni giorno. Alce Nero, agricoltori biologici dal 1978.
Qualunque oggetto, anche il più comune, può diventare un serio pericolo se usato in una maniera sbagliata. Sono più di 36.000 gli incidenti causati dalla distrazione. Mandare un semplice messaggio o rispondere a un'email mentre stai guidando l'auto può mettere in pericolo la tua vita e quella di chi ti circonda. Quando guidi, guida e basta.
RDS insieme a te. Voglia di grandi eventi.
Diversi terreni, diverse condizioni e difficoltà non ci fermano. Una vera squadra è quella che si mette in gioco, quella dove si combatte, non ci si arrende, dove si suda per farci trovare pronti alle sfide del futuro. Quando cresci, lo fai con la squadra, fianco a fianco, insieme. Insieme è perfetto.
Back to K-Pro Stadium in Arcoveggio, Francesco Porcello and Dario Grippa as the teams are preparing for the second half. Some very quick stats. 13 first down for Austria, 5 for Denmark. Rushing, 20 for 95 Austria, 14 for 57 Denmark. Passing, 10 for 19, 177 for Austria, 5 for 15 for only 13 yards for Denmark, for a total offense of 39 for 272 for Austria and 29 for 70 for Denmark. Time of possession even 12 minutes apiece approximately, and concerning penalties we have 3 for 25 for Denmark and 3 for 45 for Austria. We will now start with the third quarter, and then I will switch to Dario for the individual stats as Austria is getting ready to kick off to Denmark.
Individual stats, at passing Schwarz is 4 for 14 for just 12 yards. On the other side, Gruner 9 for 18 for 136 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Here is the kickoff from Rockwenzel. Back Denmark to receive number 30. The running back for the Danish team immediately met David Espersen from Austria.
Coming back to the individual stats, at receiving for Denmark, Steinauer is the leading receiver, 3 receptions for 9 yards. Thur is the leading receiver for Austria, 4 receptions, 111 yards and 1 touchdown. In rushing, Norgård leads Team Denmark, 5 carries for 18 yards. On the other side, Gruner, 5 carries for 33 yards and 1 touchdown.
First down and 10 for Denmark. Dario, our question with regard to the quarterback so far, it's still Alex Schwarz, the quarterback for the Danish team. I'm sure that Coach Carlsen has spoken to his players in the locker room and reminded them that Denmark is probably a better team than what we saw in the first half. It is August Lillie, the running back, for a very small gain. Second down and 9.
Meanwhile, we have a score in the other field. Sweden is leading 7-0, France.
Second down and 9. This time it's Schwarz, similar to Gruner, spreads out the offense as to indicate a passing play, only to play a quarterback keeper, and it is a very good gain, but there is also a player on the ground, and we profit of this very quick pause to give you the defensive stats from the first half. Dario.
For Team Denmark, the leading tackler is Tawake with 5 total tackles. On the other side, Terlitza leads Team Austria with 2.5 total tackles.
Meanwhile, both teams are going back to their coaching staffs for indications. The player that was down on the ground, as you can see him, he's now being escorted off the field for Denmark, is number 70. Denmark back on the field and ready for this first down and 10 from the 25-yard line. So the run by Alexander Schwarz was good for a Danish first down. This time it was a fake to Lillie, only to leave the ball in the hands of Alex Schwarz. The very disciplined and focused Austrian defense did not fall at all. A little bit maybe our camera guy, but definitely not the Austrian defense that remained on the man and tackled him for a big loss of 5 yards, second and 15. This time the handoff to the running back is completed, but it is also very well read by number 47 of Austria, Nicolas Terlitza, with the tackle on Norgård, the ball carrier. I don't see any gain in terms of yardage. Third down and 15, maybe third down and 14, if we really want to give some a little gain to this past run from the 30-yard lines. This time back to pass. Alex Schwartz tries to buy some time. He's able to do it. He has a crossing pattern from number 87.
82.
Sorry, number 82, Magnus Boos. The catch is good, but definitely not for a first down. 4th and 5 for Denmark. Ball spotted on the 30-yard line of their half portion. And in fact, we see on the field Lasse Torso, number 16, punter for the Danish team. Deep, I believe we have Schutz, number 19 for Austria. Schutz lets the ball bounce, then decides to return the kick, and he is immediately met by his fellow running back David Espersen, that is now also playing coverage on the punting team. So Espersen pretty much is really almost never getting off the field, and is contributing to Denmark. But the advantage of receiving the kickoff, Dario, in the second half has vanished as Denmark has had to punt the ball back to Austria, and I think we've seen more of the same so far.
Yes, the half started like the previous one ended, with Austria in total control of the game.
Good run by the Austrian team on this last play by Lukas Hasselwanter. Good power running. He basically remained inside the hash marks with this run and was able to bring home somewhere between 6 and 7 yards for a very manageable 2nd down and 3 for the Austrian team. Yannick Grüner ready to hand off. It is another run up the middle. Very well brought home by Lukas Hasselwanter, that has almost 9 yards on this run, and a first down from his team that crosses into Danish territory and will play a 1st and 10 on the 45.
Team Denmark looks that like the team that has went to the locker room in the halftime. So they are really suffering, Team Austria.
Two running backs in the backfield, but it is a pass on the right sideline for the open man. That is once again number 18, already in the first half, over 100 yards of receiving. Noah Touré, first down, Austria. Let's watch the replay, because there was some really good coverage from the Danish team. Number 2 was Rasmus Westberg shading the Austrian receiver. I believe the mistake was the fact that he never turned around to look for the ball and gave Touré the option to receive it. And as soon as the ball goes back into the hands of our key player for today, Lukas Hasselwanter, he brings it in for a touchdown, Austria! And now the score is 34-6. We have a Danish player on the ground as we await for Rock Wenzel's extra point. And Dario, as you were saying, more of the same.
Things start to get tough for the Danish team. The split between the two teams in terms of points starts to be really wide and hard to overcome. I hope that Team Denmark could start to move the ball, start to turn something in the right way, because nothing is working at 100% for Team Denmark. So the extra point is good for Rock Wenzel. The score is now 35-6 for Team Austria.
35-6 is the score by virtue of the extra point brought home by the Austrian team. Let's have another look at this wonderful example of power running by Lucas Hasselwanter. He doesn't deviate his run left or right by more than 5 centimeters. And once again, Dario, as we applauded their performance on Monday, let's go back and admire the play of the Austrian offensive line that is opening holes. It's maybe a too small a word for the space that they're actually allowing.
Yeah,
they're running
they're
backs.
really playing well. And as I say more times, Danish defense is not playing a bad game, especially in the box. So it's a good return by David Øspersen. Gets the ball to the approximately 35-yard line. And let's check it out, the next offensive possession by the Team Denmark, and hoping that they could start to click and to move the chain like they did against Italy on Monday.
I'm really amazed by the performance of Austria on offense. They seem to really basically never know when to stop. Meanwhile, I believe that as we expected that on this past drive, Christopher Carstens is now the quarterback leading the Austrian offense. It is a handoff for a run up the middle, very well read and stopped by the Austrian offense. As I was saying, I had the impression against Spain and again tonight that Austria can pretty much do whatever they want from an offensive standpoint. Sometimes they basically...
In the meanwhile, there's been a turnover.
The ball was fumbled by the ball carrier from Denmark, and the ball belongs to Austria. Let's ask our broadcast team to give us a replay of the pass team so we can pick up on this turnover.
The forward progress was stopped before the fumble. We have a second down for Denmark.
It was
Florian Hirsch forced the fumble, but after the game was over, the play was over. So it's still Danish ball.
I had the impression that he was still standing up and fighting for yards when he was hit. But anyway, we respect the decision of the referees as always. And it is once again a handoff for a run up the middle. But there is no real space for running because the very disciplined front four of Austria really does not allow the Danish offense any ground. I want to close the thought that I started on the play before. Austria sometimes seems to basically stop and then start again. They always seem as if they're not even going at 100% with their offense. That is an unstoppable machine, at least for these first 4 quarters of the first game plus the 2.5 quarters of this game. Meanwhile, a wonderful pass this time by Carstens to number 14, Jonathan Steinhauer, and the referee signal for a catch. So, finally, a sign of life from the Danish offense. It's a good pass of 30 yards for Denmark and a first down.
Looks like that Carsten could provide the spark that...
Holding offense number 72, 10-yard penalty, still third down.
Dario, these referees have no pity for the...
They show no mercy for the Danish offense. But the key point is that we have seen that Carsten is not afraid to go deep throwing the ball. So let's hope for him to take by hand his offense and start to move the chain.
Anyway, with the penalty, it is now a very complex third down and 16 from the 29-yard line. It is a short pass on the left side, probably hoping for the blocks to spring free number 30, David Espersen, but he was very well guarded by the Austrian defense, and now the Danish special team is back on the field to punt and to give the ball back to Austria. 35-6 the score, and Dario, it seems as if this game is quickly, let's say, approaching a point where we already know one of the two finalists for this Euro 2019.
Yeah, the two teams are using a lot of time for a small amount of plays. So there's still less than 5 minutes to end the third quarter. So the time is getting very short for the Danish team to start their overcome.
The punt is downed by Julius Bunk, number 84. It was once again number 19 for Austria, Johannes Schutz, in the near vicinity of the ball, but he decided to let it bounce, and now it will be a first down and 10 for the Austrian offense from the 31-yard line. Two running backs with Yannick Gruner, two receivers on the left, one receiver on the right. He steps up to the line, barks some signals to his offensive line, and then hands the ball off to his feature back for a gain of approximately 2 yards. Rock Wenzel, the ball carrier.
Nice job by the front seven of the Danish defense. They really show that they can stop the run for very minimal gains tonight.
Meanwhile, Gruner has been replaced by Nico Roda at quarterback, as you can clearly see now from this shot. A pass to Uzaina File. Roda that also came in the final portion of the game against Spain. So probably this is the sign that also the coaching staff of Austria, Roman Floredo, considers the file Denmark to be almost in the closet, even though of course there is still a quarter to play, but 29 points does not seem like a lead that can be overcome by the opponent that has only put on the board 6 points in the first 3 quarters minus 3 minutes of play. Fake handoff for Roda that keeps the ball himself and shows more than adequate set of legs. Good run for him, and first down for Team Austria with the ball once again in the Danish portion of the field on the 46-yard line. First down and 10 Austria.
Yeah, Coach Floredo decided to switch the quarterback to be safe, not to take any risk to lose the starter for an unfortunately injured.
Meanwhile, another carry for a first down for the Austrian running game. The ball this time is for Sandro Djukic, one of the backup running backs that also found some playing time in the rout of Spain on Monday. So Austria is clearly on this drive, Dario, giving some space to the backups. We've seen Roda at quarterback, we've seen Djukic, we've seen Uzaina File, also the third strength quarterback used as wide receiver. He has already caught a pass. This time it's Djukic again with the ball for a small gain of 2-3 yards on the sideline.
Francesco, they're starting to rotate heavily the personnel. They don't want to take a risk to lose some starter. For sure, Coach Floredo elected that this game is on the books already in the third quarter.
Second down and 8 for Austria, ball on the 31-yard line. Once again, Djukic, the ball carrier. Once again, a very good push by the Austrian front five for a gain sufficient for an Austrian first down. Meanwhile, 1:49 to play in the third quarter, 35-6 the score for Austria. Dario, it looks as if the number 1 and the number 2 seed, Austria and Sweden, the 2 winners of Euro 2017 in Paris and New York version, are going towards the final, as Sweden is still up against France 7-0 in the fourth quarter. The game is not really still at risk of changes here. Once again, showing us his dual threat skills, Nico Roda. We want to remind our friends at home that Nico is only 16 years of age. He is, just like Yannick Gruner, a product of the Vienna Vikings, 1.79 m per 70 kilograms for Nico.
Francesco, probably Austria and Sweden are today the two best, I don't want to use the term programs, but the two best realities in the youth football in Europe.
Dukic and Asselvanter that takes the handoff in the backfield for Nico Roda. This time good play by the front four of the Danish defense. Good penetration also for an element of the linebacking crew. Tackle for no gain, second down and goal, still the ball to be snapped from the 8-yard line. And once again, the ball is kept by Nico Roda that dances into the end zone untouched for 6 more points for the Austrian team that is now brought the score up to 41-6. The strength of this Austrian team, Dario, is given by the fact that they've switched to what is supposedly their backup quarterback, and their offense has not lost a beat, and it almost looked even faster than when they had Gruner in there.
I agree with you, Francesco. Austria is very deep in their depth chart. The supposed backups are really good at playing ball. They are hungry for playing time. They want to show that they can play at the same level of their starters.
Without obviously wanting to offend other teams, I think that most of Austrians' backups could start on most of the teams that we have seen so far in this tournament, at least fight for a starting position on most other teams. Anyway, let's get back to the play-by-play. Benzel splits the uprights again, and it is 42-6 as Austria has scored its 6th touchdown of the game, and it now is the owner of a 36-point lead over Denmark, as this could be the very last play of the third quarter of this semi-final match. Two players back to return this kick. It is David Espersen that takes the kick, looks to gain some ground on the left sideline. Hard tackle for Austria, and for number 41, Lucky Efosa Agbuvun from the Vienna Vikings. A linebacker of 19 years of age, 1.90 m per 90 kilograms.
I'm really impressed by the effort tonight from Team Austria. I was really fond on Team Denmark because I really thought that they could challenge Team Austria. After the showing against Italy on Monday, I was sure that we could have seen a very close game tonight, but instead I haven't seen the up-tempo offense that I really appreciated last Monday.
Meanwhile, there is a delay of game coming up.
Delay of game. Offense. Still first down.
Dario.
So I want to take a lot of credit on the effort from Team Austria. I think that they have been able to shut up their opponents without letting them any opportunity to start to have a flood in the game.
15 seconds still to play in this third quarter. First and 15 for Austria. It's a good carry in the middle of the field for August Lillie, the ball carrier. sorry, for Team Denmark, August Lillie is the ball carrier. He brings the ball back to the original line of scrimmage, plus
End of quarter.
some more ground, as it will be a second down and 9 from the 34-yard line once the two teams have switched fields, because we have come to the end of the third quarter. 42-6 Austria, the, let's say, wake-up call that we thought Denmark would have at halftime has not really materialized, as we have seen Austria still completely, totally in command of this game.
Team Austria is on fire. There's no way for Team Denmark to find an hole in which they could get and start to make Team Austria sweating a little bit. Austria is in total control. I'm really impressed by this performance tonight.
Let's see if Carstens can lead the Danish team to some scores and to a more even scoreboard. The handoff is for Lillie again, trying to find luck on the left side of the offensive formation, but he is met immediately by the Austrian defense. No gain for him. Actually, a small loss of 1 yard. Third down and 11. This time, Carstens is back to throw. The pass intended for number 80, Lucas Bach. It is incomplete.
And the Danish punt team is again on the field. A very hard time for the Danish offense tonight.
Punt coming up for the Danish team. Lasse Torso ready to kick off, ready to punt the ball. It is a very high but not very deep kick that takes a very friendly bounce for the Danish team. The returner back for Austria was Marco Schneider, number 17, but he did not come close to returning the ball. Some quick third quarter stats. Still 19 first downs now for Austria, 6 for Denmark. 179 rushing yards for Austria, 74 for Denmark. 223 passing for Austria, 25 for Denmark, for a total of...
Offense penalty at the end of the run. First down.
432 total yards for Austria and only 99 for Denmark, that is still under 100 yards of offense with 3 quarters played, Dario. Penalties, 5 for 40 Denmark, 3 for 45 Austria. Time of possession, exactly 18 minutes each for the two teams.
What makes the difference is the third down conversion, 6 of 9 Austria, 0 of 8 Denmark. It's a picture of the game.
Looking at the individual statistic, we can say that Austria doesn't need to run a lot, but is running very well with a committee of 3 guys over the 30 yards, 38 for Ruda, 33 for Gruner, 31 for Schutz, and really behind them 26 for Hans Walter. So they're really splitting the carries between their running backs and doing a great job doing that.
Meanwhile, a little confusion at midfield for the referees. Eventually, the ball is spotted, and it will be a first down and 10 for Austria on the blue line of midfield. It is once again a fake handoff for Nico Roda that takes the business in his own hands, carries the ball, and I believe it will be a very short second down coming up, as the gain is of approximately 8 yards for Roda. Second and short coming up for Team Austria. This time it's a swing pass to Marco Schneider from Nico Roda, and as it has been the case in most plays that we have seen tonight, first down, Austria. Flag on the play.
There is no foul in the play.
Okay, there is no flag on the play, so the result is the first down taken by Schneider with a very smart and sharp screen pass.
First and 10 Austria, that has obviously crossed into Danish territory, as it has been the case for almost all their offensive drives tonight. The ball is on the 35 for the Austrian national team. Back to pass, the Austrian quarterback finds the open receiver. It is Uzaina File, number 4, that is often called into action when the second string players of Austria come into the field, as he also caught some balls on Monday in the final phase of the game against Spain. Very positive and run by Sandro Djukic that waited for the play to develop, waited for the offensive line to open up the blocks, and then he dove ahead for a good gain of 4 yards. Second down and 6 for Austria on what seemed to be a dive play on this very last play from their number 32 running back. Fumble by the Austrian team, but I have the impression that there were at least 2 Austrian players ready to recover the fumble, and it is actually our number 32, Sandro Djukic, that probably caused the fumble and recovered it himself.
Francesco, here we have Team France trying to score, but they missed the opportunity. So now Sweden is again with the offense on the field. And the quarter is the 4th, actually.
Third down and 5 for Austria, that finds itself in a rare third down occasion. Wrong movement by the Austrian receiver, number 39, Nico Olvart, that after the reception, instead of looking as he should have for the sideline and therefore for the open space, he basically turned back into the middle of the field, where he was met by a number of Danish defenders. The result of the play is a gain of only 2 yards, and now the kicking team is out. So Rock Wenzel will try for a field goal that will make the score. That would make the score 45-6. The kick by Wenzel is up. It looks good from here, and it is.
So more points on the score for Team Austria. Good effort at the very end of the drive for the Danish defense. They stopped the Austrian offense, but the team still is scoring points.
Nikolai Brusilat, number 27 for Denmark, slow to get up. He is now up on his own power and walking on his legs, so nothing serious to report, fortunately, from this injury. And with 7 minutes and 15 seconds to play, the scoreboard that you have on the lower part of your screen tells you everything that you need to know about this game. I guess that at this point, the only question in our mind is who will play against Austria, because the other game in Lunetta Gamberini is still a hard-fought game with Sweden 1 touchdown ahead on France, 7-0. Sweden that I don't think Sweden has allowed any points on defense yet, Manfredi, am I correct? Because they beat Norway without...
Yes, you are.
Rock Wenzel is ready to kick the ball off.
Dario, strange look on the kickoff return. I mean, placing players in the first 2 lines.
Probably they trying to fix their great woes at blocking the kickoff coverage team.
Yes.
I don't think that is the main problem of this Danish team tonight.
No, according to stats.
I'm really impressed by how much the Austrian defense has been able to stop their offense.
Lukas Bach, number 80, on the return from Denmark. First down and 10 for the Danish team on the 27-yard line. It's a nice straight ahead run for the Danish team and for number 31, Magnus Norgard. The run is good for a Danish first down. Ball on the 38-yard line for the Danish quarterback. That is now once again number 11, Alex Schwartz.
Look like the Danish are running much more the ball inside actually than outside, like they did against Italy. Stressing the counters because probably they're not able to overcome the defensive ends.
Norgard, the ball keeper, 3 yards the gain, second down and 7 for Denmark that is approaching the midfield. Alex Schwartz pressured out of the pocket and also met immediately outside the pocket by number 90 of Austria, Johannes Schenak, defensive lineman of 18 years of age, 1 meter and 83 kilograms for Johannes. His club team is the Austrian champions, Svarko Riders Tirol. Third down and 7 coming up for Denmark. It is once again a handoff, and it is a very good run this time for Magnus Norgard that explores the left side of the offensive portion of the field, or if you will, the right side of the Austrian defense for a first down immediately after midfield from the 49-yard line. It is Norgard again going for more yards still in the central portion of the field. Denmark is trying to do some power straight up football, and the result is this time a gain of 2 yards, second down and 8. Good run this time by number 24, August Lillie.
Team Denmark is finally showing some sign of life in this game tonight, but is at least too late. Francesco, you agree?
I agree, but I also appreciate the fact that they're not quitting, it would be easy down by 39, their head means is still in the game, so congratulations to their coaching staff that is still able to maintain their team mentally into this game. You know, as a former player, Dario, that it is difficult to remain focused when there is such a big discrepancy on the scoreboard.
Yeah, the high risk of giving up is around the corner for the team, especially with these younger teams. I agree with you. The coaching staff, the Danish coaching staff, is doing a great job taking their guys focused on this game.
Meanwhile, Robin Guyen, number 40 for Austria, is accompanied out by the physio of the Austrian team. He's walking on his legs a little bit gingerly, but he's walking on his own, so that's good news. Meanwhile, it is 3rd down and 2 for Denmark, 3rd down and 2 for Alex Schwarz, ready to hand off the ball again. Denmark is pretty much giving up on the passing game. It's Lillier again running with the ball, and this time I think that they don't have sufficient yards for the 1st down, and in fact it is a 4th down and 1 for Team Austria.
Another screen pass for Team Denmark, not a long way taken on the field, and it looks like a turnover on downs.
Yes, I don't think he had sufficient yardage, and I think that the chains are moving, and the referees have indicated 1st down for Austria, so we will have the Austrian offense once again on the ground.
Is a turnover, 1st down, Austria. And Nicola is back on the field for
So Nico Rude is ready to get in the snap. Is an handoff for an inside run. Good second effort. I can recognize the runner. It was number 32, Sandro Djukic, that is becoming the leading back in this 4th quarter.
2nd down and 6. As you can see, it is very slow, the walk up to the line of scrimmage, as Team Austria does not want to run any more plays than it is strictly necessary, as we have just gone down under 3 minutes on the clock. It is still a straight ahead run. The two offenses are pretty much using the same plays, as I believe they're trying to get to the end of this game, Team Austria, without obviously any injuries, and Team Denmark trying not to allow any more points from Team Austria, and if possible putting themselves some points on the board. Dario.
Francesco, I think that it is very hard to find the balance between giving some snaps to the backups and not to running up the score with some sort of disrespect against your opponents. But I think that you should do whatever you have to do if you're playing your backups, in my little opinion.
I agree completely with you. I think that actually keeping on playing until the very last second is the way that you show respect to your opponent. And also, if you have some backups that have come here, have actually been put on the team and everything, once they are on the field, it is only correct that they're able to do their best to try and impress their coaches and perhaps gain a position in the starting lineup. So I think that if we see the Austrian backups playing really hard, that's the way you should play football. Meanwhile, 4th down for Austria, that takes a penalty for delay of game, unless there was a timeout that I didn't see. A minute 26 to play.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
Okay, Team Austria decided not to play the 4th down. Obviously, we are too deep in the 4th quarter. They elected to take a penalty for having more room to operate with the punt, searching probably with a coffin corner punt in the very last 10 yards.
Marco Schneider punting in a very good punt, very deep punt that also takes a very good Austrian roll, and it is downed on the 11-yard line for Austria by number 20, Leonard Gerner, a defensive back from the Kirchdorf Wildcats.
Francesco, probably this will be the last drive of this game. Let's check it out if Team Denmark will decide to go deep, to try to score another time tonight for leaving the winning bracket of this tournament in a high note.
Alex Schwarz, once again, the quarterback for Denmark. Meanwhile, our Austrian friends from home, especially the Riders and Vikings fans that just celebrated the last edition of the Austrian Bowl, are sending each other some texts over our chat. Let's say making a little bit of fun of each other. Second down, 11 yards to go for Team Denmark, that is waiting until there is only a very small number of seconds on the time clock before snapping the ball off. I guess Denmark is not trying to score. It's simply trying to run off the clock, as you said, without giving it back to Austria. And I believe that the game will end on this very play, as we have 13 seconds and counting. So the fans of Austria counting down the last few seconds as Austria beats Denmark 45-6 and wins the Arcoveggio semi-final. Meanwhile, in the fourth quarter, 7 points of lead for France, for Sweden over France. Sweden has the ball on the 45-yard of French territory on a first down. Dario, as we wait for Manfredi to start with his post-game MVP celebration, your quick analysis of this game that pretty much, I think, we have said everything we needed to say.
Francesco, the analysis is quite simple in my opinion. Austria has played an almost perfect game, both on offense, defense, also on special teams, and we have seen no room for Team Denmark to overcome this amazing team Austria is. Team Denmark had the odds against them, and they needed to play a perfect game to beat Team Austria. Tonight they haven't played a perfect game. Probably Austria haven't allowed them to play a perfect game.
So the teams have completed the traditional handshake, and they are now lining up on the 45-yard line in order to celebrate the offensive and defensive MVP. Defensive MVP of the game, David Tawake, 5 unassisted and 4 assisted tackles for a total of 7. He is the defensive MVP of today's semi-final. And Dario, at least I can celebrate the fact that I voted for exactly both the offensive and defensive MVP that actually ended up winning the trophies.
I don't want to say how percentage of success I had voting for the MVPs tonight.
Either 0 or 50, I guess. 5 receptions, 150 yards and 1 touchdown. The final score for Nico Ture, our offensive MVP tonight. Our MVPs are with Manfredi Leone.
Here we are with the 2 MVP. Defensively won Tawaka, number 1, Team Denmark. Congratulations. How do you feel the game, even losing it?
It was a tough game, but Austria is a really good team, and I wish them luck in the final.
Thank you, guys. And you did a great job tonight, so you're part of your win. and you were elected as a MVP offense. So I think it's a wonderful night for you to be remembered along your life.
Yeah, I think the whole team executed very well today. So yeah, I'm very excited for the final.
Great, thank you guys. Shake your hands again, and good luck for the Sunday game. So we are ready to listen to our coaches. I want to call my friend from Denmark, are very far from here. So I will ask Coach Roman again. Can I have Coach Roman can I have Coach Roman? So waiting for Coach Roman. Austria gained the right to defend the title in the Sunday final for the first place, probably against Sweden. I don't know if the game is over yet. So, Coach Roman, I don't have the final score, but it looked like Sweden is beating France 7-0.
They're still playing.
Yes. So we play Sweden. So it's clash of the champions actually. So we will see.
Yeah, they're still playing, but we don't know because now Sweden was in the offense position. So we have to wait a couple of minutes more.
France has the ball with 1:10 to play approximately.
1:10 to play, and France has the ball now. So there is 1 minute to wait for the final score. But you did a great job. You beat Denmark. You have the right to defend your title. So it's the best. I don't know.
Yeah, it's the best. It's a great honor for us, for the team, and they're so loaded with pressure. They knew we didn't lose a game for 10 years right now with the U19 national team. So they know the pressure on his shoulder, and they did a great job.
They did, absolutely. That means your program is running very well. But I think details and execution is the difference between you and Denmark tonight.
Yeah, our players executed very well tonight. So we have one more step to go, and hopefully we'll be champions on Sunday.
Yeah, be humble is always a good thing, but stats are not lying. So your numbers are so big and so good that probably this is the demonstration how the work will pay after all.
Yes, but still, a final is a different story. Everything can happen there. So we have 2 days of practice in front of us, and so we can get ready for the final.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Thank you, Coach, again to be with us. We will bother you again in the next days to describe how the things are going and your experience in the European Championship. Congratulations, and keep in touch so your fans can follow you more on our platforms.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. So I will try to catch someone from the Danish side, and I will be back to you in a minute.
Meanwhile, Sweden has intercepted a last second attempt by France, and we think that they will run off the clock with this 7-0 win while we await from Danish coaches some very quick team stats. 21 first downs to 8 for Austria, 195 rushing yards to 99 for Austria, 249 passing yards to 26 for Austria, for a total offense of 444 to 125. 6 penalties, 50 yards for Denmark, 4 penalties, 50 yards for Austria, 23 minutes and 34 for Denmark, 24 and 26 for Austria, only 1 third down of 11 for Denmark, 6 of 11 for Austria. Manfredi, back to you.
Yes, I'm walking down to the 50s with a special team coordinator by Team Denmark, so we can have another voice to be added to our comments. So the final score is 45-6, Coach, and is a huge probably difference in numbers, but we saw your game doing well. Probably the first half was a little bit limping. Then did you try to change something, but probably the kids were not so confident to be able to invert the situation?
We got into the Austrian football machine today, that's it. I felt like we had a little down point, but then the guys, they start believing in playing football again. I'm really, really proud of my guys. They did everything I could ask. Today we just met a better team on the day. If a little more things could have gone our way, maybe we could have hung in there a little bit longer. Felt like we played a really good first quarter. And I'm really, really proud of my special team today. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Probably you are missing something in the balance of rushing and passing systems. Probably rushing are good, but not good enough like was with Italy, and passing is missing something.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't see much offense because I'm so in the special team box, but I felt like we were trying to set some stuff up, and when we were succeeding, we looked really, really good, and sometimes we were only 10 guys on the field playing football, but that was not just on offense, that was also on special team and defense. But one thing's for sure, the guys, they gave everything they had today. And they knew they knew it was going to be a fight. We talked about what could happen, but we kept fighting, we didn't lose our team, so I'm very happy about that.
That's absolutely right. So Team France lost versus Sweden. The final first place will be Austria-Sweden. You will face Team France for the third place here Sunday, 5 o'clock. What do you think about that game?
Right now, I think we have to go home and just absorb the loss and kind of look around, and we have to rally now, and I think we can, and then we'll get a good night of sleep. I think Carlsen, our head coach, will demand us to go to bed, and then we'll start with fresh eyes tomorrow and look ahead for the next game. So I think that's where we're at, managing the small injuries and managing. Trying to get this game out of the way, get a good night's sleep, and then look forward.
Refresh everything and start it again. Thank you very much, Coach, to be with us and spend your time. So from the field, from Manfredi for tonight is all. Thank you guys for the big work you did, all our broadcasting crew. And I will leave you the line to complete our combat for tonight. We will be again here next Sunday in 4 different games from 9 o'clock to 9 o'clock p.m. in 2 different stadiums. From Manfredi Leone, and the field is all for the night.
Thank you, Manfredi. Dario, please, with the individual stats.
So the leaders for Team Austria, Gruner is 10 for 19, 175 yards and 2 touchdowns. Touré is the leading receiver, 5 receptions for 150 yards and 1 touchdown. Ruda is the leading back with 5 rushes for 42 yards and 1 touchdown. On defense, Gao led the team with 4 total tackles, 1 for loss. On the other side, Schwarz has passed for 6 on 16 attempts, 22 yards net. Receiving leader is Booz with 2 receptions and 12 yards. Rushing leader is Norgard with 9 carries for 36 yards. On defense, Tawake lead the unit with 7 total tackles.
Thank you, Dario. We have given you all the final stats. Our final score, once again, is 45-6 Austria. All that is left for me to say is join us Sunday for the 4 final games. The 7th place game at 9:30, the 5th place game at 12:30, the 3rd place game at 1700, and the final game that, as you just heard, will be played between Austria and Sweden at 9 p.m. here in Arcoveggio Stadium. For Manfredi Leone and also for Dario Grippa, this is Francesco Porcello saying good night.
Ecco Elena che lotta per l'ambiente, per la biodiversità, per un sistema di produzione sostenibile che rispetti la terra e chi la lavora. Perché il mondo si cambia con le scelte di ogni giorno. Alce Nero, agricoltori biologici dal 1978.
anche il più comune, può diventare un serio pericolo se usato nella maniera sbagliata. Sono più di 36.000 gli incidenti causati dalla distrazione. Mandare un semplice messaggio o rispondere a un'email mentre stai guidando l'auto può mettere in pericolo la tua vita e quella di chi ti circonda. Quando guidi, guida e basta.
RDS insieme a te. Voglia di grandi eventi.
Diversi terreni, diverse condizioni e difficoltà non ci fermano. Una vera squadra è quella che si mette in gioco, quella dove si combatte, non ci si arrende, dove si suda per farci trovare pronti alle sfide del futuro. Quando cresci, lo fai con la squadra, fianco a fianco, insieme. Insieme è perfetto.